Welcome to the KYP podcast. I'm here with my host, Kevin.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And I am here with a very special guest, the one, the only, the daddy. It's Urboyguti.
Hello, guys. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for coming, man. I know you and Danny go way back in terms of like working with each other and stuff, but you and I go way back in terms of the basketball court, baby. Yeah. So, yeah, we grew up in the same neighborhood. And our other co-host, James, also same neighborhood. And we played basketball basically since we were like teens.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Did we go to this? You're like age younger or older?
Younger,
I think
right? A grade younger.
You were, okay, yeah, I remember that. Okay, cool, yeah.
Dope, yeah. So there's some history here, but I definitely don't know you as well as Danny here.
Yeah,
like literally, seen you like a couple times off the court for drinks and stuff. But I really want to hear about because I've been hearing about this RXR thing for a while, and I want to get the full scoop.
Okay, man. So what do you want to talk about, man?
I think we'll start simple. Like, just describe who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so for people who don't know or may have never seen me, which is 90% of the world, my name is Guti. I'm a content creator / a filmmaker. I've pretty much made a name for myself on TikTok, and I grew an audience of 1.4 million followers over there. And my videos have been viral and all the other platforms as well, Instagram, YouTube as well. But my main audience is TikTok, and I've been on a journey to become a film director and kind of disrupt the film industry with what I do, which is, I'm pretty confident that I'm on my way there already, but we still have a lot of work to do.
Definitely, and I think the first thing, especially that caught my eye when we first met, is really your dream to disrupt the film industry. Can you elaborate more on what standard the film industry have and what you want to dismantle?
Yeah, man. Like, honestly, I've been in a film. I like to call myself a film addict since I was young, because all I did when I was like, before I even came to Canada, because I was born in Venezuela, it was literally like come back from school, spend time on my couch, and just watch as many movies, as many TV shows on Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network as possible. And when I wasn't doing that, my brain was kind of already making these movies in my head. And I was lucky enough that my grandfather was spoiling me enough to actually buy me any toy that I fucking wanted at the store. So he would literally had like a huge box, like I would say like this tall, of toys that was filled. And when I wasn't watching movies, I was pretty much picking as many toys as I could and making like scenarios in my head of like maybe like a part 2 of Toy Story when there wasn't a part 2, or like a part 2 of Tarzan. I was like, oh yes, this could happen. I was a huge fan of McDonald's too back in the day, so I had like all the toys from McDonald's too.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was fire.
Yeah, they were so, I don't know why it's not as huge right now, but back in the day it was my thing. It was like I had all the toys. There was another toy called Max Steel. Like, I don't know if it's still around, but
I've heard of that.
Yeah. I had all of that, bro. That was really my passion. And when I wasn't even doing that, I remember like I was with my friends and all we did was like imagine these like scenarios and started like playing. Like sometimes we'll play like Dragon Ball Z, or like this character in Dragon Ball, or Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So it's like it goes really way back to that. And when I grew up, I didn't grow up knowing that I wanted to be a film director, or be in the film industry. I just grew up, and my passion for writing stories just kind of came naturally. So I started writing poems and stuff for girls, of course. And eventually that transformed into me just like pouring out my feelings, how I felt at home and all that shit. And then I went to university and I kind of saw the people that were in the film program. And I kind of started understanding a bit more of the film industry. And I was just like, yo, this is dumb as hell. Like, why would I pour some money into a short film to be showcased at a festival that most of the people don't know, that most of the people don't have access to, and that it's gonna be judged by people that I don't give a single fuck, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, this doesn't make sense. Social media is out there. There's people doing skits that at the time I thought was like, yo, this is stupid. Like, this is simple. It's not simple. But at the time I was like, yo, this is simple. So let me just try the same thing, to try to do like skits and maybe pave a way for myself for the film industry. And I did that shit for like 6 years. I started in like 2015, just started behind the camera as a videographer for a church. Then I started like knowing how to handle a camera. So the basics, like shutter speed, like ISO and stuff like that, how to handle a bit of lighting. And then I just started noticing that my work ethic was really like, I was really good at like focusing on things. So I was like, oh, maybe after a year, I'll just start working with other industries. So I started working with like, like influencers and shit. And that's when I met Danny. And I was like, maybe we should make a business out of this shit. We made a business. I like to think as Rugged Extra Fine as a successful business, because literally like for three young people who didn't know what to do, had no idea how to do this shit yet. We literally had clients. We were literally getting paid. It wasn't always easy. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't always like fucking flowers. But I was like, looking back at it, I'm like, for 24-year-olds that literally had no clue what the fuck they were doing, it was pretty good. Yeah, I was like, this shit was pretty good. We got sent to New York, we got sent to Toronto. We got paid to work with people, and to me that's pretty much the dream. You know what I'm saying? So, and now I'm here, man, with TikTok, and still working on the journey. Have a lot of projects coming on. I took what people can call a break, but I wasn't chilling. You know what I'm saying? I still was working on my shit, and new stuff is coming up next month for sure. So
Sick. And speaking of your TikTok, right? You are, for a lot of people who don't watch Goody's TikToks, has a lot of things. Back in the days, it talked a lot about family values, things like that. How would you describe really that shift from going from behind the camera to suddenly going in front of the camera? Because I know a lot of people get super camera shy. I'm behind the camera, you can fuck off. I don't want to be in front of the camera.
Yeah, man. I always listen, man. It's really hard for me to understand my own creative process, because I always thought myself as behind the camera guy. So my dream was always to be a film director. But I kind of got caught up into being in front of the camera, and a lot of people think I'm an actor. And it's kind of, at first it was kind of confusing, but the more I do it, the more I understand, like, acting is not necessarily my main passion. It's something that I like to do, you know what I'm saying? And I think for now, the way I see it is really like, if I make a when I make a full feature film for Netflix, I will give myself a second role, no problem, because I know I can do it. But I'm not at the point where I'm like, I can play, you know what I'm saying? I'm the best choice for a first role. I don't think I have the passion for being such a good actor yet, and I don't think I have the necessary experience for it. Could it happen? It could happen, because literally I never thought I would be in front of the camera. Now I am. But for now, I think that's my vision for it. My main focus really is behind the camera as a film director, and making. I also want to give value to people and show them how to. Well, once I get there, obviously, how to do it for themselves and help them, accomplish their dreams.
It's cool. Honestly, like, love your videos. I'm one of your close friends, so I guess I can say that. But I think an important thing, you've already told me that in the past, but it's important for Kevin to also know. But I want to know your true mission behind creating your videos. What's the purpose of creating those videos?
The purpose of creating those videos is to connect with one single human being at a time. So for me, it's really the way I started my videos. It was really, I was reflecting upon myself. So my first video that blew up was literally a story of back in the days. I think I was like 13, 12. Listen, we're all immigrants out here. We all got the belt. We all got hit. There's no like snowflake shit over here. We didn't grow up with parents just being like, no. It was literally, we got hit. So I was like, you know what? Let me tell this story. It could be funny, And that's what I did. I simply told the story of me watching my sister about to get flipped with a belt. So I was like, I'm going to be heroic today and step in front of it. And that's what I did, back in the day. So I was like, let me tell that story. And I told that story, and that shit connected with 1 million people. And I remember calling everybody. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. 1 million views,
Yeah.
a million views, you know, and for me it was huge. I came from I come from max 100 200 views per videos, you know what I'm saying. I was used to Instagram like literally not blowing up, you know, even though we were doing this for other businesses. At the end of the day, no one had ever been viral per se, and we had never experienced it, you know what I'm saying. So for me, and I had never been around anybody who had experienced it themselves. I had been around people who had like 100,000 views and stuff like that. So, you know, like if I would have had 100,000 views, which James did, I would have been like, oh, okay, this is cool. But a million views, I was literally flipping my ass off. I was like, this is crazy. Like, what do I do? Where do I go?
That's wild.
You know? So I was like, oh my God. So the rush was insane. So for me, from there, I was just like doing that every single day, trying to reflect upon things that could connect with people. And, you know, the more I grow, the more I understand that this is not only about me. It's not only about sharing my own experiences, which I'd love to share my experiences, because I think at the end of the day, I always call myself, I'm a simple human being, man. I literally, you know, I don't see anything special about myself that I can see on somebody else. So I'm like, yo, like my life is pretty normal. Like, yes, I've had like a lot of problems. My parents had problems, but parents had problems. You know what I'm saying? Like parents get divorced and shit like that. Everyone has that. So the mundane things of life that has happened to me, I now believe that there's something special in it, that people can connect with it. And so also what I try to do is sit down with some friends and simply talk about their life, you know? And it's like, yo, what's going on? How do you feel? And usually what happens is that from conversations I have with my friends, I pick one thing that I'm like, oh my God, this could actually connect with more than one person. And I try to develop a story around it. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like I'm literally just trying to connect with one person at a time. And I think that's why my stories have been so successful over the years, because I've seen a lot of TikTokers from 2019, then 2020, you don't see them. 2021, you see them less. And my stories have literally been able to hold up all those 3 years. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, what I'm working on right now, it's no different than what I've done before, but it's definitely, I like to level up, you know, and Danny knows, man, I don't like to stay on the same lane, you know. I was chubby before. I literally just lost weight because I was like, yo, I can't stay like this. I need to level up. So it's the same thing for what I do in my artistic craft. And what's coming is, it's way harder, way bigger than what I've done before. It's a lot of risk. It involves a lot of people as well. But again, I'm very confident on my mission, which is just to connect, man.
I find it super interesting because Guti and Kevin pretty much have, in a way, the same mission, and both of you are great at connecting just through different means. I just wanted to know, Kevin, how do you yourself connect people? Because you do it more through human interaction rather than content creation.
Yeah. So when you said that, like I had a physical reaction almost, you know what I mean? Because that's literally the purpose of my life from now on. And that purpose only came recently. I'm 26 years old. It came on my 26th birthday. And the reason why, like, I connect to it now, it's because I'm trying to express myself to the world, connecting with one person at a time. Before, I really had no interest in doing that because I didn't have anything to say. But after I gone through what I went through with my change, I need to say it. I need to tell everybody. I need to tell and try to help anybody who might have been in some similar situation as I was and is looking for someone to give a hand, because I don't want anybody else to be in that situation again. So I don't know how to create like art in the traditional way, like fine arts. I don't have talents in that way, but I do think I'm very creative in a different way. And you know what I mean? Like podcasts, I have a vision for what I want. I was also a content junkie from a young age, you know, Teletoons, YTV all day.
Yeah. We grew up on that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, wow. You're a friend of mine. If you'll have me, I want you to be a friend of mine for life. You know what I mean? Because I think we're walking the same journey, and I just want to stack my circle up.
Yeah, and I think it's important to surround yourself with people like that. You know, it's necessary to grow as well. I mean, I always say it, like, there's so many things that I learned from Danny and from James that I still use to this day. Like, I always tell, like, technically, like, watching Danny work and how his perfectionism towards his craft has taught me a lot of things about, like, oh, okay, what to look at when I do my work, so what's really important, right? I'm not gonna be like Danny ever, like, he's not gonna be.
This is not my personality.
Exactly.
I could never do this.
No,
look at this room. It would be gone. The setup would be gone after a week.
It's not my thing, I cannot be as artistic as he is. It's like, that's his talent, as well as James, right? He's really good with fashion. I could never have his talent. That's his, But I try to rub off people in
not to be confused with rub one off on someone.
Rub off people in a certain way where I like to learn from people, you know what I'm saying? And once I learn what I have to learn from people, I try to apply it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I can do this too, you know what I'm saying? I can apply this to my own craft. I can offer this in a certain way that it's my own. And I think that's something really important with artists, because you see a lot of them being scared of learning from other people. It's like, no, I wanna be myself. And it's important to surround yourself with people who know more than you. I always love to surround myself with people who know more than myself. Like I'm only like with people that literally have 20, 30 years more than I have and have been way more successful than I am. Like, way more. I don't know if I will ever be able to reach their level, but I like to think that success is something that is shareable. You know what I'm saying? So I love to learn. You know what I'm saying? I love to surpass myself all the time. So surrounding myself with people that can provide something that I desperately need, because my like you said, my whole goal is to provide as much value as possible. And it's also within my friends and all that. I know I'm not really present, and that's the thing. When you work so hard, it's really hard to make a lot of time for your friends. But I like to think that when I'm present, I'm able to provide a value that other people may not, and I'm okay with that. I'm at peace with that.
So you both mentioned the fact that you are both creative, yet at some different aspect in life, you aren't talented. I kind of want to
I love that shit. That's a great way, bro. I love it.
But it's kind of interesting to see, and I want to start with Kevin's take on if there's actually something as real as being talented. It's something, or is it something that can be worked on or that can be developed? Is it something that you are born naturally talented at something?
Yeah, I've in the last 2 months since I decided to do this, I spoke with a lot of people in this field, and they always say the same thing. Like, creativity is something everybody has. It's just living your life. And then for me, I lived 26 years of my life, right? I would have never categorized myself as a creative. I always say, I'm a finance major, I'm pursuing law school. I present myself as a highly social, like, party, funny guy, but ultimately my main title is academic corporate dude, right? But when I confronted my parents, told them I don't want to do that, and those chains were freed for me, like all the influences from my parents' expectations, my cultural expectations, my peers' expectations, all that was lifted. I was just left alone. I was quiet. And maybe for the first week, I just wasted my time. I just bummed around and watched YouTube videos. But one day I decided to, like, use this freedom. And then my creativity just started going on its own. And it's not like creativity, people instantly think like painting or music or whatever. It's not. It's just ideas. It's literally just ideas. Like, engineers are creative, lawyers are creative, doctors are creative. You know what I mean? Creative in approaching a problem. That's what creativity is. Finding different ways to get to an answer. That's it.
I agree with you. Although with time, I've noticed that it is possible to not have creativity as a talent. I think there's people that, I think it's a muscle. You can definitely work at it. I think we've all, like, I especially like to call myself like a non-creative person to a certain extent, because I don't know, like, I see a lot of artists and I'm like, yo, their shit is so good. You know what I'm saying? Like, per se, Leon Bridges, right? We were listening to his stuff. It's so creative, you know? Like, per se, I look at Danny, I'm like, yo, he's a creative mind. You know, everything he does is so like creative, and it's like there's a purpose behind it. And same thing with James, right? It's like, yo, he lives creativity. You know, he dresses to be creative. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just a muscle that I've worked on for years that now I'm able to like focus on storytelling. Yeah. And that's my thing. That's my talent. But I do believe there's such thing as people who are not creative simply because there's certain people that are good at simply applying things that other people would tell them to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's the talent within himself. I can't do that shit for a long, like I can do it for a short period of time. But yo, you ask me to do that for 5, 6, 7, 8, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, after that, I'm going to get really tired. I'm gonna be like, yo, I need to do something else. So I do believe there's such thing as people who are not creative, but I also believe it's a muscle. I think it's something that everyone can work on, but just like per se, like LeBron James is like the top level basketball player. I think there's people who can
top level.
Exactly. There's people who can have that top level. You know what I'm saying?
I think I see your point and I agree.
Yeah, no, that's all I had to say. Literally, like, you know, it's a muscle, but not everyone has the talent or has necessarily the vision for it per se.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, yeah, I think you're definitely right. I think creativity is a skill, like, and there's different levels to this shit. 100%. I think I'm just so positive now because I did such a 180. Like, I literally feel like a little kid who was reborn. And like, anything is possible.
No, but your perspective is valid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because literally now, I never thought I could even do this shit.
Yeah. Right.
So now that I'm on the way to do this shit, now I think I could even be a recording artist or be a producer or be an actor. And
that's good.
I want a comedian for sure. That's the closest thing to me.
Okay.
Comedian, 100%. I'm gonna give that a try. But imagine after I do that. Then acting, then I want to do, you know, like, take the first step. You think a kid is born and they instantly think they are a lawyer, they can be a lawyer.
Yeah.
No, it's all the people setting it up, giving you one step at a time from when you're a kid to give you the tools to make you think you can do that task.
Yeah, well, the thought, my thought, basically what I'm trying to say, which is basically it's giving birth to that. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. The guy who invented the light bulb, that motherfucker was really creative because there was no light, you know what I'm saying? Literally no light forever, you know? And it's like, yeah, let me create something that creates, it's like, okay, how many tries, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a quote around that, you know what I'm saying? And he created a light bulb and now everybody uses a light bulb, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, that was a great ass invention. But is he as rich or as praised as LeBron James? No, but is his invention not as impactful as LeBron James? It is. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I try to usually talk about with people, where it's like you don't have to be somebody else. It's your story. You know what I'm saying? Like you're you. You can invent something that doesn't exist yet, or you can be somebody that has never been like seen before, you know? Yeah. And that's what I like to believe about myself, where it's like, I don't have to be anybody. I don't have to be Martin Scorsese or all these old filmmakers that's like 60, 70 years old, or the new guys who are already at the Oscars, you know? So I don't have to be anybody. It's just got to be myself. And, you know, I think because I've been myself, I've been able to create what I create, and I'm really proud of it. And I know it took a lot of work, you know, and I have a lot of confidence because of the work that had to be put on it, you know. And the more work and the more faithful you are to yourself, I think the more confidence you get, you know, and the more you get to discover who you are and the things that you really value and the things that you stand for. It showcases in your craft, and the more you're gonna draw the right people to you, you know, because that's a really important part. Attracting the right people. You don't want to attract anybody because then you become nobody. You got to really attract who you want to be around.
Yeah, I actually wanted to get your perspective on this too, right? Because I think we got to this conversation by you asking like, what is driving your ambition in this creative field, right, for Guti? And so like, I think it was discovered that me and Guti share the same drive for storytelling. And I was wondering, like, if you have something similar that, like, what is your version of that?
So for me, I think I've had this long talk with pretty much all my close friends already. Photography for me, it is basically a means to an end. I do not want to do photography for the rest of my life. Actually, a lot of people don't know this, but I hate photography with a passion now because it's a job. It's something that you pick up. You go, imagine if you have a desk job, you sit down at your desk, you go, fuck, I got to work today. I got to read emails. You're a car mechanic, you're, let's say you're a teacher, go to school, pick up, open your computer, write on the chalkboard, like, fuck, I'm so underpaid in this shit. And like, I have to work through COVID. So my goal in life is just to help people as much as I can. Photography is a way of doing that. But I've realized that I have somewhat of a skill on the side, and it's to learn something very quick, and it's to explain it decently well. I'd say I'm pretty decent at explaining things. And so that's what drives me to keep learning new things, is to educate people, to help people achieve a better sense, a better person, like the best person they can be. No one's going to be as perfect as whoever standard of beauty or personality you have in this world. But I think the most important thing is that you are good enough for yourself, and that yourself is enough for you. And I think that's super important when it comes to that.
Okay, so I see, like, so if I'm understanding correctly, like what drives you is like really that whole mentorship aspect, right? Because for you, learning new things comes so easy, or easier, right? Or more fluid than other people. And so you see that you have this like special thing, right? And you want to share with, you've been dedicating your life basically to share. Like, I asked you once at a dinner, me and James just started this thing, if you wanted to join, and you were a guest on our first episode, right? But instantly you were so helpful, so open, like everything, like you went above and beyond to give us what we needed to start. And now you're giving us our time. Like, you know, we can't pay you. We can't have, we don't even have a fucking channel right now. You're helping us make our channel and everything. So, wow. And I see like your collaboration with Le Porem, with other businesses, your coffee friend. Wow. And so now I see an intersection between all three of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the want to build a community, use the community route to fulfill our purpose and give back to the community simultaneously.
Yeah. And I think that's the most fulfilling thing, to be honest with you. Because the thing is when you like to work, right? It's not necessarily a like. It's not like, every day I'm happy to work. Everyone would simply love to get money and just like do whatever they want. But there's a need, that comes behind that. And like he said, there's a need to provide value, and there's a need to help people in some type of way. And that's where your talent comes up. That's why it's important when you're starting to kind of just do anything, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I did. That's how I pretty much found that storytelling was my thing. I did photography, I did videography, then I tried like business. And it's like, now that I know what my thing is, which is storytelling, I can apply it to all the different means that I used to use in the past, right? I can use it with photography, I can use it with videography, and people will know that it's mine. It doesn't necessarily make me a photographer, doesn't necessarily make me a videographer, but it simply makes me goody, because people are like, oh, this is this guy. Yeah, we know that he does these type of things, and he loves to like play around with his artistic like storytelling. And I think that's the same thing with Dan, you know what I'm saying? He loves to learn, and he loves to share what he learns, he doesn't keep it to himself, I'm the opposite, actually. I learn a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, I'm gonna apply it. Like, fuck, I'm not gonna explain it to anybody, because I don't think I'm a good teacher. So I'm like,
it's a different skill. It's different.
Yeah,
some of the best people at a certain thing aren't necessarily the best teachers, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I'm like, yo, I learned this, I want to use it. Dan is more, I learned this, I want to share it, So at least that's what I think, So it's like, it's so different, but yet like, that's how we connected, We love to learn things, and we learn to like simply share that passion, And he's a good friend as well, He's fun to be around, and makes a lot of jokes.
No, but honestly, I think you pretty much hit it on the nail. Like, the reason why I really love teaching stuff to people, basically, that moment when someone talks about something they really love in life, their eye starts glowing. that's the most precious thing ever. And I love that feeling when I teach something to someone who doesn't know something, their eyes light up. And it doesn't even have to be anything too practical in life, you know. I have a lot of friends who come over and we're chilling. I was like, dude, your coffee setup's pretty extravagant. Can you tell me why you need this? And I started explaining, and their eyes started lighting up. They start understanding. They're like,
that's
whoa.
true. That's so true.
Honestly, everybody who walks into this apartment has the same experience. Like our first guest this morning was blown away. He would not stop taking pictures. Look at the setup. Look at the setup.
But I think that's one beautiful thing about what we do in life is that I do things really to have that satisfaction, that to see that glow in someone's eyes. Meanwhile, you are creating content to really inspire other people. And I think just to go back to what Kevin said earlier, that's super important, like the first step, because a lot of people are super scared to take that first step. And you probably didn't know. Well, I mean, you probably knew at a young age that you really like storytelling. Kevin's the complete opposite. He never knew now that he wanted to do something creative. I never thought I'd be taking pictures of fucking food for a living. So I wanted to have your take on really, what do you do on a daily basis to overcome that first step, that fear to do something new, to try something?
Yo, that's actually crazy because the reason why I'm well, again, I can't talk about the project itself, but the step that I like to call it level 4 of the Guti journey, because it's been 4 years. It's been 3 years, sorry, since TikTok happened. So this is like level 4. This is the fourth switch, I like to call it, from all my content, because it started on my basement by myself, then I added my friend with my phone. And last year was really like the DSLR and making longer 3-minute stories, you know, and every time there's that fear of like, yo, I'm about to change my content. How are people going to react? And what I find is the more I understand that I have no control over the outcome, and the more I understand that fear never really goes away, the less scared I get by my own fear, right? Because you get scared by your own fear. You're like, oh, what if I try this and it doesn't work? That's literally every single person's biggest fear when they're about to take their first step. What if I do this and it doesn't work? And that's hard, man, because like it's unknown, you know? You don't know what's gonna happen, you know? What if you fail, right? And everyone laughs at you and everyone's like, yeah, I told you, man, you weren't good enough, you know? And what if you're not actually as good as you thought you were gonna be, right? There's all those things that come up that are real. These are real thoughts that 99% of the people go through. But the reality is, if you just keep going, you're just going to get a little bit better at it, right? Just a little bit better.
For me, what basically pushed me to take the first step was after I assessed my whole life and figured all this, addressed everything, I finally did not give a fuck what other people think anymore. I used to be like, oh, if I don't get into this school, that person will think that, or that person will think that, Now I really don't care. And once you figure that out, and it's like, it's only about what you care about. That's the only thing you need to focus on. Then taking the first step in anything is easy because you decide. You're not influenced. You're not being pulled which way by anything.
Yeah, and usually. The funny thing is that you're usually guided through a gut feeling, you know what I'm saying? And it's always your gut feeling. You're really scared of your gut feeling because it's like, this is not rational. Reality is your gut feeling is probably the most rational thing about yourself, because your gut feeling is pretty much all the knowledge that you've gathered, let's say for you, for the last 26 years. And it's like, oh, you know what? My software right now is telling me you should go here according to all of this that you've learned and according to the fact that you feel this way right now. You know what I'm saying? So according to all of this, go here. And honestly, bro, like if you listen to it, okay, you might not get where you want to be yet, but if you keep listening to it, you're going to get where you want to be. When I downloaded TikTok, right? Like, yo, I was crazy. Like people were like, yo, what are you saying? Like, this is just an app and no one knows about it. It's popular in China. And you know what I'm saying? Like, no one believed in it. No one really thought that it was going to be a thing. but I just had a gut feeling. Like I gathered so much information out of social media and understood certain things about social media that maybe other people didn't go through. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone's experiences are different, and that creates different results. The same way I saw TikTok, maybe someone else saw crypto, whatever, and they were like, "Yo, I learned all this throughout the past years, and now that I see crypto, this makes sense." So it was the same thing for me. Oh, this makes sense. Did I knew that I was 100% right? Absolutely not. But I was like, yeah, my gut feeling is telling me this is a way to go. So I went there. He got viral. James got viral before me. So I was like, yo, you know what? Maybe this is not for me. Maybe I shouldn't even try to be in front of the camera. I just keep myself behind it. Maybe helping businesses is just my thing. But something inside me kept telling me, no, just keep trying. And I kept trying, man. And now it's literally, it is what's allowing me to move forward in life, and really like build a path and a career for myself. I tell people I haven't made it financially yet. I'm not financially independent yet. And that's what a lot of people are like, yeah, but I don't understand. It's not my path doesn't have to be the same as per se like Charlie D'Amelio or all these TikTokers. That's not my goal. It never has been. And I never made it the same way as them. Yeah. So for me, it's important to make it my way. You know what I'm saying? If I'm still working, I'm still like, all I'm doing has a purpose, and all I'm doing has an end to it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing I do just because of doing it. I have so much, not responsibility, but there's so many things around me that are pushing me to simply go to that next level and to simply keep moving forward, that I can't allow myself to simply do things to do things. I believe I have certain skills that the world can use, and I want to keep pushing them until the day I die, bro. Because I don't know what's the best version of myself. Like today, I'm Guti, and I'm into fitness. I have like followers and all that. I can make stories, but what's really the best version of myself? That's I won't be able to see it until the day I die. So I'm really interested by that. Who am I going to be when I'm 80, on my deathbed? That's really, if I keep pushing myself like this, how far can I go? Who can I be? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I can be an actor, and a really successful actor, more successful as an actor than a film director. But I won't know until I don't push myself to the point of excellence, pretty much. And that's what I'm really interested about, like building as much value and then share that value with people through my storytelling talent.
But you need to take the first step to do.
Yeah, you need. But exactly. But I started literally in a church. Yeah. I picked a camera. I remember I picked it up. I picked a Rebel. Yeah, Rebel, and I literally just started recording like outside. I was like, yeah, let me record this, And actually, no, that's not true. I started it with my iPhone, and I took pictures on my iPhone while I was hanging out with my girlfriend, and those pictures were bad as hell, bro. Like, and I was like, yeah, this could be an image for a movie and all of that, bro. It was so bad. There's no way someone can look at that and today be like, yeah, that's how this dude started. But I simply took the first step because I had that gut feeling. You know what I'm saying? I had that feeling telling me, yo, according to what you like and what you know so far, this is the way you should go. And I listened to it, so hasn't been bad.
I find it so interesting because all three of us have three different points of view when it comes to dealing with the first step. I'd say for you, mostly has to do with trusting your gut feeling, just do it. With Kev, it has to do a lot more with shutting down failure in everyone, just keep pushing. And we actually had that talk this morning. I was preparing all the gear for the setup, and he asked me, why aren't you excited for a new guest? Why are you so stoic about everything you do?
I came in like...
He was super excited. He came in super excited. Like, I've never seen that smile is the type of smile a virgin after he gets laid.
Facts. That's facts. This is the face.
So for me, the way I deal with failure is that I'm a big advocate for Murphy's Law. And for most people who don't know what Murphy's Law is whatever, what was it? Everything bad
No, everything that can happen will happen.
Could happen. Will
Anything bad that can happen will happen, or something along.
It was focused on negative occurrences.
Just put the quote on the.
We'll find it.
I'll just leave the quote here. But that's the thing, is that I think that, and we had that talk too, where he said, it's funny how you can see rookies versus veterans in the industries, where the rookies are super excited about something. They jump at the first thing they see. But then the veterans, they know everything's going to go to shit. So they don't react, because if it happens, that's good. But if it goes to shit, I knew it was coming, but I know how to fix it.
Yo, that's so true, man. That's actually, that's how I feel every time I make my content. Where it's like, it's funny because I always tell like my boy, it's like, yo, like, oh, is this gonna work? It's like, I don't know. Like, I guess like it might go viral or it might be shit. Like the world that we work in, it's
nobody knows that either.
Nobody knows. It's creative. No one has ever made it before, so we don't really know. We kind of have a pattern, like, oh, okay, like if I do this, I know people like that, but the final result in itself is something new. You know, it's based of experience. But hey, man, like I always say, my most viral video was the video I hated the most, and I thought nobody was gonna like. And from that's pretty much I operate a lot like you, where it's like, yeah, it could really be bad or it could really be good. Like at the end of the day,
let's see what happens.
Let's see what. But I really like to do this shit, so let's just do it. You know, so. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Everything.
I love that feeling where it's like, hey, we got a problem. We'll cross that bridge when we have to cross that bridge. Dude, we're on a helicopter. Wear your strap. We'll cross that bridge when we have to cross that bridge.
Yeah, man, for real. That's how you operate as a creator.
That's how you need to operate as a creator.
Yeah.
I think what's really interesting about creatives is that people think creativity, and we talked about this earlier, creativity, Kevin mentioned that people associate to art. People associate to drawing, whatever. But deep down, I believe that creativity is running into a wall as fast as you can, and then keep running into a wall until it breaks, which is basically the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
You just keep trying something different ways
until
you find a fucking solution to it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And I think it also, I believe it applies to your content. You've done
so much.
Too much. I don't know the exact number of videos you've filmed so far, but I'm pretty sure
I don't even know.
It's like building blocks, right?
Yeah, no, I don't even know how many videos I've posted, man. I've posted till insanity. That's all I know. Like, I did it by myself until I couldn't do it by myself anymore. And that's my biggest problem and my biggest benefit as well, is that I do stuff until I drive myself insane. When I drive myself insane, I know it's time to level it up. You know, it's like, okay, it's time to switch things and do things differently. Because it's kind of like a marriage, you know. You kind of got to always spice things up a little bit and you know, renew things, you know, renovate yourself all the time. So it's interesting for you, and it's also interesting for the people you create, you know. And yeah, but yeah, I understand you, man. Like, so many times I've wrote stories and I'm like, oh my God, I have no more ideas. But it's not true. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you always have something to say, but you can say it in a different way, because every day you're a new person. You analyze things and you learn new things and you can express yourself in new ways. And, you know, I thrive off that, bro. Like, running into walls all the time, even financially, man. Bro, like, there's so many stories in the last year and a half that have happened that I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, what I'm doing has no sense. There's no human being that would prefer to go this route instead of like actually going into a 9-to-5, because it's comfortable, man. Like, yo, waking up in the morning, actually knowing that you got money in your pocket, like, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's really cool. What I'm doing is literally driving myself insane every day. But I do think I'm a passionate dude, and I'm driven with a purpose. So it's the only reason that I do what I do, because I love this shit. You know, I love not knowing whether it's going to work or not. And I love also, when it works, seeing people actually being impacted by it. And, you know, to a certain extent, from the messages I've got, probably changed their lives, you know. So I don't know. I thrive off that, you know.
Yo, when it comes to entertainment, a lot of people think it's not important. But now that it's so big, so many people, YouTube creators, for even like if you listen to like The Office, the actors from that show talk, what really drives them is like hearing like, fans coming up to them and say, wow, your videos, your entertainment, the content you put out got me through really tough times. I was depressed, or my family member was in the hospital and we bonded over your show and stuff like that. Yeah, you think like 3 minute TikTok creators, like they're not at the level of The Office. That's not true. Like people get attached to what they get attached to.
Yeah.
And maybe 7 billion people, most of them don't get attached to your TikTok content or this podcast, but maybe 10 people do.
Yeah, and that's what matters.
10 people for us, your numbers are way higher, but yeah, but whatever the number is, one person at a time, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like, bro, you never know who you're going to impact. And even though like if you got 10 listeners or whatsoever, I'd rather change the life of one person than having a million views and literally
like a million whatever views.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. That's literally doesn't give any purpose to anybody, And at least, if you're able to impact one person, you're on your way to impacting two. Because there's also a lot of people forget about word of mouth marketing, man. Like if someone likes you, they're probably gonna talk about you to somebody else. Hey, man, look at this dude, Kevin. What he's doing.
That's all the marketing we're doing.
Exactly, bro. Marketing is limitless. Social media is just the hot way right now to do it, but the traditional paths and the traditional way of doing things are still on, and they're still valid. It's just not as hot, and much harder to get the same attention from those. But yeah.
One thing you mentioned earlier that really struck with me, and I think a lot of creatives can relate, and a lot of, I would say a lot of future filmmakers, creators, they look up to you as a role model because in their mind, you've made it.
Yeah.
In a lot of people's mind.
Yeah. In a lot of people's, you've made it. But to see someone and hear someone like you being successful and suffering from creative burnout.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with me. Like, how do you cope with it? How do you fix it?
I think, and this is something I've been dealing a lot, creative burnout. And I think I kind of touch on it a little bit, and it's reinventing yourself. At a certain point, you hit a limit of what you can do with what you have. For me, I can only speak about my own experience, right? But I always say I started doing everything, right? I was scripting, filming it with my tripod, acting on it, editing it, thinking about the post. I was doing a whole production job, And at a certain point, it's like, I hit that point where it's like, I need to express my stories in a different way. This sucks. Because the thing is, a lot of people think because something works, you have to stick to it forever. And it's like, no, because you're actually putting yourself back into the routine 9 to 5 type of thing. And I was like, I don't like this, It's like, I don't do this to do I don't want to do videos in my basement forever. I want to go outside and see the sun and have different how you call that, mise en scène, what I'm saying, and have my friends involved in it, and so I was scared because I didn't know if it was gonna work, but I was like, you know what, I never did this shit just for the views. I'd always done this shit for because I love it, and so if I want to keep loving this art, I need to do this. So I did it, So I involved my friends. I did all sorts of things. I didn't care, actor, no actor, whatever. I just want to be around people and do these things around people. So that's what I did. Did it work at first? No. I simply had to work at it a bit more. I simply had to work at it in a different way. And so I repeated the same process, which is, okay, sit down, write the script, find a way to communicate what I'm trying to say, and understand that the audience if you want to communicate to an audience, you have to basically what I do is I pour out my feelings like a draft, and then I cut out the bullshit, and I'm like, okay, what does the audience wants to hear? What does the audience wants to see? Because that's basically the work. At the end of the day, everything you do is a job, and that's my job. It's like taking out the bullshit from my emotions, you know. So that's what I did, and until I found the right way to do it, to communicate it, and then I did it with my friends. Then I was like, yo, I want to be more cinematic, because the TikTok stuff with the phone,
it's limited.
I'm tired of it, because it's like, okay, I know it works, but yo, what's the next step, you know? And so creative burnout again. I'm like, what do I do? So I started working out, because I felt like I needed something new. I didn't like the way I looked either in front of the camera. So I was like, you know what? Let me put more effort. So I did so. Made me, it served me so well. Sorry for that again. It served me so much, because working out made me understand how important consistency is in life. You know, if you're not consistent with your things, you're never going to achieve anything. And so I applied that to also my art. But again, creative burnout. The year after, I added the more cinematic look. I started adding more actors, more people that wanted to be involved, and it worked. And so like now it's like I'm at a point where actually I can talk about this, where I'm involving people from the industry. Like the next videos I'm gonna make are gonna be filmed by a cinematographer who has more than 20 years of experience. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna have actors, people who have like 15 years of experience in the industry. And to my surprise, I was like, yo, maybe these people are not going to be interested. Yeah. But again, I simply took the first step. I was like, you know what? Fuck off. I'm gonna ask people if they want to be in this shit. I have this project. I have this business plan. I have like, I'm how can you say this? I'm mentored by different business people who I've seeked help too, you know, because it's not because I'm on social media that I necessarily know how to monetize it. And I know my thing is I want to monetize myself in a infinite way. You know, I don't want to simply do sponsorships and like, oh, I'm selling brands, because I think that sucks. And I got signed by an agency that I won't name, because I don't want to. They're a good agency, and I believe they're really honest about their work. But I simply don't believe into the sponsorship thing.
It's not a fit.
You know, so I signed with them, and then I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't think this is the route I want to go. And so that's when I started building a different. You know, I went a different route, the business route, where it's like, okay, I'm an artist, but I want to turn this into a business. I want to shake the film industry. There's people out there getting so much money for short films that there's 10 people that view them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, there's no way in hell that if you're smart, there's not one smart human being that's like, yeah, I want to pour some money into this, because there's actually people that's going to watch it, you know? So, you know, I simply surrounded myself, again, with people that know more and where I wanted to be, because my creativity had reached a level where it needed more space. And I think that that's what creative burnout is really expanding yourself, you know, and sometimes it takes some months, sometimes it takes some weeks, you know, to unblock that. But there's also, you know, there's a time, I always like to say there's a time to create, there's a time to absorb. And the time to absorb is as important, because it's how you renovate yourself. You know what I'm saying? As a creative, it's important to absorb information, read books, share experiences with your friends, with people around you, you know, listen instead of always doing. And that's what I do with creative burnouts, basically.
Okay, dope. Honestly, what you mentioned earlier was pretty interesting, because you also mentioned all your process, but the fact that you wanted to grow your creativity as a business, which I find it super interesting, because a lot of creative don't see the point of learning business. But it also flips the script the other way, where business people like Kevin don't really appreciate creativity. So it begs a question, and I want both of your inputs. What has the flip side really taught you, and how does it help you? For you, it would be, how did business really help you? And for Kevin, how did creativity help you in the sense of your business?
For me, I learned the value of taking the first step, because being with that, you know, business, you know, I went to business school, McGill, Days Hotel. Like, as soon as I say that, people have an image, and the image is correct. The stereotype is correct. And amongst those people, it's a crowd full of people who think they're too smart for their own good. You know, everybody thinks they have the best idea. So when a group of 4 of those guys get together and someone comes up with an idea, it's not a supportive environment. It's not like, oh, that's a great idea. How did you come up with that? I think you should do da. It's, oh, but have you thought of this? The regulation, I read this article from Bloomberg, and instantly at the end of that conversation, it's like, okay, I guess we're not going to think of that idea again. I talked to James. KYP, you know what I mean? Like the first thing, like one of the things I thought of, like, oh, is it trademark? Did you copyright? No, I don't know. I just found a service, found a way to to manufacture the clothing. I'll figure that out later, right?
Yeah, the guy literally just out of like
he literally just went again. Me, you don't think? Yeah.
James definitely the epitome of we'll cross that bridge when we cross that bridge.
Yeah, I swear.
Yeah, like with my business guys, as somebody in the circle brings up, let's start a clothing line. The conversation would go, "What about copyright?" Oh yeah, you're right. I don't want to. Fuck it. Let's just drink. You know, and so that's the value that the flip side of the creative realm has brought to me.
Yeah.
You know, just don't think about it too much. Don't be so afraid to look dumb.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it stems from. A lot of people in that field are afraid to look dumb because it's all about your reputation to get hired, your resume, how your whatever, your cufflinks, what kind of watch. Are you wearing an analyst watch? Are you wearing partner watch?
Yeah, I feel you, man. Basically it's I would say it's mind blowing because what I've learned through having these different mentors and different people who are very, very successful is that creativity is needed actually as a businessman in a certain way. If you look at people like Steve Jobs, Kanye West, right? Those are the two people I can actually bring right now. These are extremely creative people, but what they did is they had a product, right? Which is basically what I have. I have a product, but what I don't have is the right people around me to actually communicate that product and sell it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a skill that I need to learn, and I need to surround myself with people who know how to create the communication between the consumer and the product itself, right? So when it comes to creativity and business, it's not foreign. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think it's two different things, but no, it exists together. You know, you need a creative person to create something that people are interested in, right? For me, it's my storytelling, right? So throughout these last few months, it's like, okay, putting my head down, understanding that it's like, okay, how do I create a business out of this? You know, people love my stories. I get millions of views. What does that mean in business? It means simply there's traffic, there's eyes. I can sell stuff, right? So I can take different routes, but the sponsorship route sucks, you know? It's not your product. And you can create actually a friction between you and your audience. And that's not what I wanted. I built this stuff, you know? I want to make sure that I get a deeper relationship, not a friction. So I had to simply, because here's the thing, I can't talk about it too much, but I had to simply develop a business plan, get around. I got lucky enough that I met a business strategist actually at the restaurant that we're gonna make content.
All right.
For. So he saw me doing content for them, and he wanted on his end. He simply wanted on his end to have a TikTok as well. He's like, oh, I'm starting a TikTok. Starting a TikTok. I'm 60 years old. I don't know how it works, but I have a lot of experience as a business strategist and a financial planner as well. So I want to help people, and we connected on that because this guy literally only wants to help people build their businesses, and I was like, oh my God, like I need somebody like I need somebody like you because I'm building this business. I have this business plan. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if the product that I'm offering are actually going to do something, So he was like, okay, so let's just help each other. You help me with the TikToks. I help you with a business plan. And this is a guy who has raised like millions and millions and millions of dollars for the companies he's worked at, So it's like, dude, this is perfect. But the reason this happened, and this is also the great part about the journeys, it's the humility, right? That you have to put yourself in to get to those moments. The reason I was in that restaurant is because I was like, I need to get a second job. I need to absolutely have a second job. There's a lot of people out there, millions of followers. No, I cannot do this. I cannot do that. No, I was like, fuck it. I need whatever job is going to bring money to the table so I can build this business. I was like, let me be a busboy. I applied to that restaurant as a busboy. Find out they need people they need someone to make their social media. Right? So it's like, oh, okay. So I still work as a busboy. I still need that money, but I also getting the money from social media. So not only I got one more stream of revenue, I got two. Not only that, on that same restaurant, there was somebody else. He's a producer. He's like, bro, I've seen a lot of people blow up on TikTok. how do I do it? I'm like, yo, I can help you, but I have to charge you. Goes on a fucking meeting. Guy's gonna pay me to, you know what I'm saying? This is all, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are all things that were driven towards the fact that I wasn't like most people were like, yeah, I have like 1 million followers. No, I was like, yo, let me get the money. I need the money. Let me do it. So giving yourself the humility to simply do the right thing, is the right thing is always the right thing, you know? And that's simply what I did. I put myself in that position, and now it's like, oh, opening doors. I meet this business strategist over there. I get an opportunity to also build a business around social media for other businesses, you know? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, my creativity has led me to a lot of opportunities, but the humility behind it and simply understanding that not everything is going to work out your way also opens doors for yourself, you know, and surrounding yourself with the right people, the great network, you know, people that know more than you do, you know. It takes a lot of humility to be excellent at what you do, but also to be able to impact the world, you know.
Wow. I think that's that busboy story that's so on brand. You killed your pride.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm also a big fan of like Dragon Ball, so I have like a dichotomy between killing your pride and like, you know, the Saiyan pride type of thing. I'm like, when I'm at the gym, I'm like, my pride. But I love the message of kill your pride, which like, being humble and stuff.
I know it's called kill your pride, but you need pride. You can't kill it completely. It's also a valuable thing,
it's
right?
Necessary.
Like, you have to tap it. Sometimes you need that sang mode, right?
Yeah.
So you got to gas yourself up, but sometimes you need to kill your pride and take that busboy job.
Exactly, because you don't know where that's gonna take you. You know, if I never took that job, you know, and there's another story that led me to taking that job, and it's the fact that I also invested in a mentor before that. You know, and I was like, okay, I invested in this person. That person's advice was, okay, do 2 jobs, make X amount of money with 2 jobs, and from there invest in your business. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the journey is simply a connection of dots, and this is what Steve Jobs has said in the past, that only will make sense once you get where you want to get, you know? And that's where I'm at, man. Like, the way I discovered TikTok, because of RXR, bro, we were doing social media for other people, and I was looking for ways to like provide better services, so I connected with TikTok, you know what I'm saying? And then bro, like, I got viral because I was talking with James and we were talking about storytelling, but I would have never been with James if it wasn't for our interest, you know, for social media. So everything makes sense till now because I look back, and it's going to be the same in 10 years, but for now the journey keeps building, and that's what I'm really interested about. It's like 10 years from now, how many people will I have impacted? You know, where am I going to be? You know, how fit am I going to be? I don't know. So it's like those type of things, you know.
Definitely. Honestly, looking at all the amount of people you've impacted and looking at the amount of followers you have, I think the big question that poses, and likewise for Kevin and Goody, because Kevin's mostly, I'd say, you're like a outgoing social guy. He goes in to person, parties, like in real life. Everyone knows him, and you get access to places where people can get access. I'm kind of the
guy, like, I walk. My ability is to walk in like silent, like you won't notice me coming in, but everybody will remember me at the end of the party.
Exactly. Yeah. Meanwhile, you have an amount of people that no one can ever fathom to have. Millions of people who look at your content. And one thing that a lot of people ask is, how do you deal with that amount of popularity or that amount of eyes on you that remembered? How do you keep yourself humble after all of those eyes like on you?
For me, it's very easy. You know, for me, it's not a big deal because the people who I'm popular with are also people who I really connect with, right? Because it's a two-way street in real life connection. In order to make a real life connection, you had to have a 2-person dance. Online and TikTok, when you have millions of people watching, that's a one-way communication. And so that you can't control, you have no idea who's watching you. I know exactly who knows me. And so I'm not worried. Like, I have a very, my vision is clear. There's no fog. Millions of people, you have no idea. everybody's watching you.
Yeah. How this is the funniest stories of my life, where it's like and I actually filmed this and I put it on a TikTok, where me and my dad, I didn't grow up with having a very close relationship with my dad. So like 2 years ago, before COVID, he just decided to go to a basketball game at Boston. And we're like, yeah, let's go to Boston, go to a basketball game over there. And it's a city I've never been in, man. And this is like literally like 4 or 5 months into like this whole TikTok thing. And I'm like, I'm going to Boston, and I'm going there with no expectation. I'm just going there to spend some time with my dad. You know, I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm all excited about this whole dad and son thing. And yo, like the craziest thing is, I go into that city and my dad is just like, yo, like what, like, people keep looking at us like, what the fuck is going on, you know? Until just people started coming up and just wanted to take pictures, and my dad was just like,
wow.
It was like, it was the first time. No, sorry, it wasn't the first time it happened. It happened once in Montreal, and I was still like struck. I was like, wait, what the hell? But it was once in Montreal, right? I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But in a city that I've never been, and that's when it really kicked in. When I was like, yo, this is real. Like, this is not only. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in my basement, you know? I'm in my basement. I live in an island that like most people never go to either. So I'm just like, I'm in Boston. I'm supposed to be, and there's people coming up to me like, hey man, I love what you do. Let's take a picture. And I'm just like,
I'm a tourist.
Yo, I'm like, what? And I literally, and I'm sorry for the first people that came up to me, by the way, but it wasn't that they don't want to take a picture. It's just I was struck by this whole thing, and I was like, I didn't know how to react, you know, because it's like, yo, I've seen people on TV do that, but I never thought I would have to. It's something you cannot prepare for, and maybe there's other people that would be more smooth about it, but I definitely wasn't, you know. And then during that time, I also went to Toronto back when I had a girlfriend, and the same thing happened, man. It was I was in Toronto, and there. We went to the what's it called? Not the Madison Square. How's it called?
Oh, Dundas Square.
The Dundas Square. Yonge and Dundas Square. And I was just like, I was walking by with my girlfriend, and there's people coming in like, yo, can I take a picture? And I'm just like, bro, I'm in Toronto, bro. I'm not Drake. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, sure. But then it's like, it plays in your mind where it's just like, you start wondering who you are too, because it's like, what does this represent for people, you know? So around that time as well, it was like during the time where I was hitting also creative burnout, but it also pushed me to get through that burnout. You know, I was like, yo, this is real. This is not only like, I'm not imagining. This is not me like inflating any like reality. This is real. There's people out here watching my shit and actually being fans, you know? And yo, like, it's crazy. You don't like till today. I'm still like, I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? I still don't understand it, and I don't think you ever understand it.
Does it scare you?
No, it doesn't scare me because I'm in Montreal, and I still feel like Montreal is a good city to be like kind of like low key. So in Montreal, it doesn't happen much. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like
true.
From time to time, there's someone's like, yo, I see your stuff, and I'm like, oh, cool.
You look familiar.
Yeah, but it's not like Boston and Toronto, like how it was in Toronto. It was like literally like, you know, every 5 to 10 minutes, it was just like, yo, can I take a picture? Can I take a picture? And at the time, I was also posting a lot of content. So, you know, it was easy to recognize me. I had a very peculiar look too, long hair, beard, and shit like that. So it was
with
easier.
The wigs and stuff.
Yeah. So it was easy to recognize me, you know what I'm saying?
The height.
And the height as well. You know, it's hard to miss me, you know. I'm 6'2". So it's like, you know, like, I don't know, man. It's really something when you experience it. But today I just look back at it, and I look at the people who are willing to take a picture with me. I'm just grateful for it, to be honest. And it just boosts me to do more. And I'm like, yo, this shit is real. I never thought it would happen. I never aimed for this shit. It simply is, and it's like, okay, whatever. Let's just go through it, you know? Because even when people look at my following and they're like, oh my God, whoa, like, what the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I'm just a dude who makes videos. It just so happens there's a lot of people who know it. But at the end of the day, I'm still the same kid, you know?
You don't see me, like, I play basketball with you since I was 15.
Yeah,
you're exactly the same.
I'm just the same kid with the same dream who wants to be, like, excellent at an excellent film director. And, you know, I still keep my same friends around. I love keeping my same friends around and learning from them, you know.
That's an interesting question. So with 1 point something million views on
Yeah.
TikTok, have you started to experience like people trying to use you?
Girls, but
Yeah, I mean that's what I was thinking
yeah,
too.
girls, yeah, like
And I'm sure
shirties
like
are something.
everyone here is a man and has
Yeah,
been a boy,
yeah.
has been a boy. And basically, if you're not familiar, the ladies out there, if you've been a teenage boy, every single teenage boy, if you're straight, if you're sexually oriented that way,
Yeah.
our dream is, you know, to be
Fuck
used by
around.
women.
Yeah,
for
it's
our
just fuck
clout.
around, bro.
At some point, when we were teenagers, every single one of us had that.
Yeah, no,
fantasy.
for sure.
But obviously, you know, it's different when you're a grown man, adult, and it's happening.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things to consider, you know, like...
Yeah, no, for sure.
It gets tricky. And a lot of people go down the wrong road because of that.
Yeah, no, for sure, bro. And it's, I mean, like I always say, man, like, I always tell people, my thing is that I never been shy around girls. I always been a very casual dude with girls. It's not like TikTok like changed me. I'm like, yeah, now I'm confident with girls.
You've always you've always been.
It's not my story,
man.
you know what I'm saying? I've always been cool around girls, and they've reciprocated their interest towards me and all that. But you know, TikTok has made it easier for them to
okay.
see
So
me
you're probably
as
not as risk to that problem.
No,
as other people, you know,
I'm used to this shit. Like I'm used to like being around girls.
Pussy until they got
I'm not those guys who's like, yeah, I'm using my fame to get pussy. My goal is actually to not like show my TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, can I get girls without this shit? You know? And then when I'm seeing like, okay, maybe I should show my TikTok, then I show it and I get whatever. But I'm not like right now. What I tell like people is that I'm not ready to commit into a relationship. You know, there's a lot. All my time is dedicated to my career, and I'm happy with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm thriving. I'm thriving on it. You know, so for me, it's just like it's a no-brainer. You know, when I meet a girl, I make it straight with her. Sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't like it, but you know, I can't decide for them. You know, if you go through it and you still like hit me up after, I'm not gonna be like no. You know, so yeah, man. Like mostly girls. Like when it comes to guys and shit like that. Yeah. I mean, like I said,
cloud chasing, whatever.
Yeah, I can identify like people pretty easily because again, I've never been like a rejected person. I've always been
always socially.
Yeah, like the person that you see right now is the person that you've been getting for the last like since I was born. You know, so it's like for me, it's a no-brainer. I know who my friends are, who's interested in me as a person and what I have to bring, and who's interested to just get behind a video and just say, yeah, can I get some clout? Because let me be honest, for anybody, nobody blows up because you're on a TikTok video. That's not how it fucking works. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really be talented or really have something to bring to the table, right? That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna blow up because you're on one of my videos. It's not gonna happen.
All right, I think we can start wrapping up the entire thing. But before we end everything, I mean, Guti has always been this guy ever since I know him as being super genuine to his message. He always stuck to his message. Though an interesting question I want to ask you is, throughout your journey from, let's say, when you first started storytelling to now having the chance to work with high level production and stuff, what is the most important thing that changed in your mind that you believed at first that completely changed now?
Views. No, I think I believed that before, but I believe it more now. I have to say, views don't fucking matter at the end of the day. Your views don't fucking matter. Your following don't fucking matter. Like what really matters is the impact that you make on people. You know what I'm saying? And since like, you know, since Kevin, you're a business guy, literally like people are making 6, 8, 7 figures with like less than 1,000 followers. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. That's like, you know, in all senses, like, because I want to bring something straight too. Like, yo, making money is not a bad thing too. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of our generation, Gen Z, like has this like bad perspective of money. Money brings value and allows you to do things and help people in ways that other people can't. You know what I'm saying?
It's a tool.
You know what I'm saying? Because some people have money. Because people have money, they're able to help poor people. You know what I'm saying? Money is just a tool, like you're saying. Yeah, exactly. It's just that.
To an end.
Exactly. So for people like me, or for people who want to talk to an audience and help them grow, it's necessary. But we don't need millions of views for that. Like, we don't need you don't even need 100 views, bro. 50 views, you can monetize your content and actually make a living. And it's important to make a living out of it, because it's going to help you make more. You know what I'm saying? If your message is to help people, there is nothing wrong about monetizing your talent. You know what I'm saying? And that's actually something I was scared of at the very beginning, is like, yo, I don't want to ask people for money, because like, yo, like, they trust me and shit. No, man, like, literally, I right now, I've realized that it's like, no, like, fuck it. I need to make as much money possible, because what I want to do is so big, and I want to help so many people, and I want to have such a huge impact. I have no fucking choice. Like, I can't make
you want money not to be rich. You want money so you
I
can
don't
keep
care.
growing
Yeah, I don't give a
project.
fuck about yo. I literally, like I always say, my life will never change. You know what I'm saying? This is what I tell like girls, and what drives them away is that I'm never gonna change. What you see now is what you're gonna see at 70. The way I work now is how I'm gonna work at 70. Like, you're not gonna change me. I'm not gonna change for you. You know what I'm saying? Go find another dude. You know, I don't care. You know, this is who I am, and I need a specific type of girl to bring into the journey. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to like partner with someone. I'm trying to bring someone in. You know what I'm saying? This is who I am. You know, and if someone is down, she's down. But until I find that person, I'm writing like by myself and whoever's with me. You know, and that both. But yeah, man, like, you can't be scared of this whole like monetization shit, because I know I was scared. I know a lot of people are scared, and they're scared to fail as much as certain people are scared to put out their first piece of content.
Danny, I want your perspective, because being in the space for a long time, I'm sure you've heard of a lot of creators coming up to you with a new idea, right? And I just want you to compare kind of the different, because like, I feel like the way I approached it, I did not put a lot of thought in the creative stuff. Like, how are you gonna do this, and what camera do you need? I had no idea, right? But when I came to you, I had a clear vision and a plan for how I plan to grow first the traction, and then how I plan to monetize that traction. Like, I feel like, you know, when I talk to creatives, it seems like the way they approached it was they started creating first, and then once they had something going, then they started when they actually had demand and need to put a business together, then they start looking into it. But that's too little too late. The way I came, I had zero I didn't even have a creative idea. It wasn't even a podcast really yet when I went to James. But I told James, I know how to play this game. Because what I do is, when I observe things, even when I'm just, I spend thousands of hours on YouTube. I've seen almost everything. But I don't wait. Like, my brain just processes, and I think about, like, I used to only watch content as a consumer, like, Vin Diesel did something. But now, especially watching creators, I start thinking, what are the logistics here? Okay, so he has a director crew. How do you know, like, is that contracted, or are those internal part of the team? Is it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now every time I watch content, anything I'm watching, stupid TikTok, that's what I'm thinking. How did she did this? Okay, she had 14 outfit switches. The logistics. Oh my God, she spent like 18 hours in that room.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel you.
So I think about it. That's how I view content now, and that's how I came up with this idea. So, like, that's how this started.
So in terms of how I looked at this entire project with the podcast, a lot of people, like I mentioned, they believe that, and I appreciate you guys believe that I'm creative, but I'm actually not. I'm just a great copycat in my mind. I see ideas and I can replicate them very easily. But deep down, I feel I have a sense of business. My sense of my acuity in business is a lot better than my creativity. And so when I look at a project, I mostly look at different facets, but the two main facets I look at it is the logistics, feasibility, and the sustainability of a project. First of all, the logistics. What do we need?
Yeah.
What do we need? What do we need to do? All the plans. Then you look at the feasibility. How much is going to cost? What's the lowest range we can go? What's the mid range? What's the high range? What do we need in the future? And the sustainability. Can we keep doing this for a while? And so when I look at projects, different projects and different creators that come to me and give me different ideas, I can weed out a lot of these ideas based on how they explain to me their ideas. And so a lot of them just come with the idea. Some of them come with the feasibility part. Like, I already have all the gear. We can start it now. Okay, have you planned out your topics? Do you know if you can do this? Let's say if 1 month you knock on wood, you got an accident and you're not able to film, are you able to sustain that?
Yeah, I feel you so much on that.
And so it kind of, you try to separate that idea into multiple facets and also look at what's the worst case scenario and what happens if you get the shit kicked out of you and you can't continue your project. And that's how really I look at creative project. And I think most people in the creative world who actually learn business, who finally understood business, are starting to look at their project instead of just saying, I have this idea, I have this vision, let's fucking go.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
Because I have something like, because actually it connects to something, Kevin, you were saying at the beginning, right? About like people in business school and how stuck up they are.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about that, Danny. That reminds me of people in the film school.
Ooh.
And I hate, bro, I'm going to be honest with everyone. I don't know who's going to listen to this, but I'm going to say it like I hate y'all. Like I hate y'all with a passion. Y'all dumb as hell. You know what I'm saying? Y'all dumb as hell because what Danny was just speaking about is exactly who y'all are. Y'all come up with these crazy ass projects that are not feasible at all. They don't connect with anybody. And y'all out here talking about Martin Scorsese. Oh, yeah, man, because I watch Martin Scorsese and I watch Rick and Morty and I watch this bullshit. Bro, your project sucks. It doesn't connect with anybody. I don't care how much money you pour into it. If you're filming it with a red, I don't care. You can be filming with whoever you want. It's not going to work because, as he says, your project is not, first of all, feasible. And second of all, it doesn't connect with anybody. And that's the shit that I hate the most about the industry, bro. Is that people are like, film school is pretty much like business school. Everyone thinks they're better than everybody. Yeah. Like, I watch all these good movies.
Tarantino.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino. No, they don't even talk about Quentin Tarantino. They talk about these filmmakers that are underground that nobody knows about. And I'm just like, yo, what are you talking about, man? Like, be yourself and create something that connects, man. Like, stop pretending that you're better than everybody and you're still at fucking school. You're a nobody. You know what I'm saying? I still consider myself as a nobody. You know what I'm saying? Bro, create shit that connects, and that's what's gonna work. Nobody gives a shit about your equipment, how good your idea is. If it's not fucking feasible, start with what you have, man. And that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? That's why I was so passionate about doing it at the beginning of my basement. Because it was like, yo, I'm gonna show all these stupid dumb fucks that you can do it with whatever you want. You can build an audience, you know what I'm saying? You can build an audience with whatever you want, you know? So that's what it's just reminded me why I started doing all this shit, bro. But yeah, man, that's basically what I wanted to say, man. Stop being dumb as hell and just do what you have and try to connect instead of trying to be different and be this creative mind, because it sucks, man, to be honest.
I connect with that round so much.
I just wanted to say it.
Off.
I just wanted to say it because, it reminded me of both things and it connected, yeah.
But yeah, on that note, thank you again for coming.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you guys for inviting me.
We'll have you over on another episode talking about more the facet of business, because I feel that's something where a lot of people are really interested in.
Yeah.
But to close it off, where can people find you?
So obviously they can find me on TikTok, Urboyguti with 2 I's at the end. Are you gonna put the handles? And stuff? Yeah, Urboyguti with 2 I's at the end. Or Instagram, Urboyguti. And that's it for right now. I'm gonna be opening a YouTube channel. I guess when I'll be back, I'll be able to expand more on my new project and stuff,
awesome.
depending on how successful they are. But yeah, man, you can find me on Instagram and on YouTube. On Instagram and on TikTok pretty easily.
I hope this was interesting. And remember,
kill your pride, baby.